What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining the Travel Tales and Talk podcast with Derrick and Meckaela. I'm Derrick.
I'm Meckaela.
Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey, I'm Derrick.
I'm Meckaela.
And this is our podcast that we've been talking about for quite some time now. We've made several trips to several destinations, and people have always said, we should talk about these things. And I even mentioned it to you. We should do a podcast. So This is our first foray into the podcast thing. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be fun, in my opinion. I'm already having a good time. So, and this is the first 5 minutes of it.
If you've gotten this far, you are the true champion.
Mm-hmm. That'll work.
Hang in there. The best is yet to come.
That'll work. So I know the first episode, we wanted to talk about our trip to Spain. Trip to Spain 2024. And a lot of my coworkers, friends, and family always ask the question, why Spain? So why Spain, Meckaela?
Well, I used to live in Spain as a child, so it's, holds a special place in my heart. I like to go back and visit often. And I'm also a high school Spanish teacher, so any chance I can get to go to a Spanish-speaking country, I am taking it. And I have a good friend from college who lives in Spain that I love to go visit frequently. So, yeah, that's why Spain.
That's why Spain. And my why Spain is because Meckaela said so. My wife said we're going to Spain, we go to Spain. Not only that, I do like the Spanish culture. I like to visit the historical sites, especially those sites where we can trace them back to the Moors.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. But most of all, because my wife said so. But here's the thing about this one. We went back in 2017. So in 2024, we actually planned this one around La Feria. So what was the planning like? How do we get our flights? People know how we got our flights. Trains. Should you rent a car? What about transferring dollars to euros? Your credit card, your debit cards, cell phone, international calling. There's a whole thing too. And then booking your hotel. So let's speak about the planning process, pretty much from getting our flights to hotel, euros. How did you find the flights?
Well, I use a couple of apps that I search frequently. I use Momondo, I use Skyscanner, and lately, excuse me, I've been using a lot of just Google flights, just Googling the flights, which is how I found these flights. And I have a number in mind that we usually do not go over $750.
Yes.
On a flight anywhere in Europe. South America is different. But in Europe, $750 is our max. And this time we went right under. I think our flights were like $746.
$740, yep.
Yeah, something like that. And that was just off of Google Flights.
And then you do have the American Express. You have credit cards where you can accumulate those points to get flights. And you've used that a couple of times, but not in this instance.
Not in this case, because we up until this point, we were like avid Delta travelers, but this time Delta flights were in the 900s.
Yeah.
So we had to get American Airlines. And so we were newbies. We didn't have any accumulated points to use.
I did.
You did? Oh.
For work.
Excuse me.
And that's another thing we try to tell people. Sign up for the rewards for those carriers. I mean, 20,000 points. That can get you a hotel somewhere, or you keep accumulating those points. Eventually, you get a flight. So take advantage of those opportunities, even with the hotels. Sign up for those rewards, those programs. That's my suggestion. What do you think?
Yep. Those are all great ideas.
And then we chose April because that was for, we wanted to go to La Feria, which is in Sevilla. So we would also recommend checking around non-peak season. So a lot of those tourist spots, you don't want to go during those times of the years. Flight gets high, hotels get high. Everything goes up a little bit because of tourists. So also I would Google the best time to travel to these locations. Like, you don't want to go during peak tourist season. You're going to get ripped off with those flights and hotels. So try to go non-peak season is my suggestion. Same with the flights. You want to book your flights to where you travel during the non-peak seasons.
Yep.
So we also, for the first time, did high-speed rail in Spain. And there are a couple of companies we use. How do you pronounce that word? Iro.
Irio.
That was suggested by a family friend who lives in Spain.
Yeah.
Great suggestion. I thought that was an amazing, amazing train ride. Even though it was my first time, it was first class to me.
It was. The food was delicious.
Oh, yeah.
The seats were spacious. The train was clean.
Oh, it was clean. And it smelled good, too.
It
I don't know if
did.
there were spraying fragrances in the air, but it smelled so good. The train ride was very impressive. And it wasn't very expensive either.
No.
So we took it from Madrid to Corveta.
Our first stop was Cordoba. Yeah.
So we took it from Madrid to Corveta.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another company, Renfree. Am I saying that correctly?
Renfree.
Renfree.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of high-speed rail companies there. Just search them both on Google and plan accordingly. We chose the first one because of a family friend. It came highly suggested, so
Yeah.
we jumped on it.
Yes.
Try to book your seats together.
Yeah, the rates were a better deal for us on the Irio.
Yeah. And then booking your seats together. Were
Mhm.
we 4 and 4 or how? I can't remember the first train ride.
The first train ride, we just sat singular seats. All seats were facing the same directions.
Okay.
But on the ride back, we got the seats that sit in pods of 4 with a table in the middle. So it's as if you're at a dinner table, 2
Mhm.
people facing, 2 couples facing each other, if you will.
Yeah. I like that. I like the quad. If you get 4 people.
I don't
that's
like the
cool.
quad. Well, let me tell you about why I do not like the quad, because my tail didn't think to book all 4 seats, so
Mhm.
just our family was sitting at that table. I booked it so that Derrick and I were sitting at a table with 2 strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And these strangers were booed up. The woman was all in this man's lap, laying all on him. They were snuggling, playing with each other's toes. And I'm like, really? And our daughter, London Rose, was sitting, on the next aisle
Mhm.
over. So she could clearly see this,
Mhm.
and she was sitting with a stranger.
Yeah.
I didn't plan it right, y'all.
But that's cool though. If you can book the whole table, whole pod,
Book the whole table.
book the whole pod.
It's cheap enough where you can just book the whole pod.
Yes.
And then you can stretch out and have a good time,
Have a good time.
and won't get a peep show like we did.
And then also we did something we've never done before in a foreign country. We rented a car. We drove around southern Spain. That was an adventure in itself.
Oh, yeah.
So there are some things that you must do prior to renting a car or driving a car in a foreign country that we found out was you have to have an international driver's license.
Yes, you do. Okay, so basically an international driver's license is not a separate driver's license like I originally thought.
Yeah, I
It
thought we
is-
were going to take a new driving test.
Yeah, it's not that. It's basically a booklet that translates the information that is on your driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
So you get this book. It looks like a passport book, and it just has different languages in it: Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, I think Korean, Japanese, Russian. All of this is
Spanish.
Spanish is in this book that just translates information on your driver's license. So if you happen to get pulled over, you just hand them that book and your driver's license. So you got to have a valid driver's license, people.
Yes.
Please don't get
Yes.
locked up in a foreign country. Don't
Nope.
do it.
Nope. Nope.
So you got to have both in order to drive a car there. And I had to show that international passport when I picked up my rental.
International driver's license.
Driver's license, sorry. You're right. International driver's license when
To
I
get the
picked up
rental.
my rental.
Yep. And then also,
And you can get that at AAA, any AAA store.
yeah,
Go on in. They'll take your picture. You'll pay your money.
I think it was what, $30?
I want to say it was around $20.
In between 20 and 30.
Mhm.
Yep. Somewhere in that ballpark. And if you don't have a AAA location near you, just Google it, find out the options you have in your area. But we had AAA here, and we got ours here at
Yes,
AAA.
and also while you're in AAA, it's a good idea to go ahead and get your money transferred over. So we knew that we were going to Spain and we needed euros.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on in and ordered. They call it ordering
Yes.
your foreign exchange money. Right. And so we placed our order, and they told us in 2 days, come back, pay them the money, and then they'll give us the exchange. But the thing that we didn't realize is when we went in, the exchange rate was one price, and I thought it was locked in. Oh, no, it's not. Because when we returned in our 2 days, the exchange rate changed again in favor of Spain. So the money that I thought we were getting back was lower.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. The exchange rate is constantly changing.
And then also for AAA, there is $1,000 is the minimum without additional fees.
So I was petty, and I said, "Hey, let's just transfer $1,001." And that qualified. That made us.
We were exempt from
we
the
were
fee.
exempt from that fee, but my husband, no, we need more money than that. So hey.
Yeah, we converted more cash.
So whenever you're traveling, I recommend that you have $100 a day in their currency, wherever you're going to be. $100 per day should be your minimum when you're trying to figure out how much cash to have on hand. $100 per day.
That doesn't mean spend $100 per day. Just
but that should be your budget. Yeah. That's your budget.
And then, speaking of the exchange rates, you can also go to your bank or credit union to convert those dollars to euros. And usually they'll have a cheaper exchange rate than waiting to go to the airport or when you land in that foreign country. So if we were to convert our funds when we got to Spain, that exchange rate is going to be higher there than it would be in the States, especially at the airport. So you can save a couple of coins by doing it in advance versus waiting to get to Spain, get to France, or wherever, and convert that money. So I would suggest do it here in the States before you leave. And then also with your credit debit card. So most credit cards, there is no international fee. But your debit card, there is. So if you swipe your debit card, there is a international fee for that transaction. So a lot of people use their credit cards instead of their debit cards because that international fee is not there. Now, my call out would be call your credit card company and call your bank. Let them know that you're going out the country, because if you don't, and you go over to Spain, you go over to Portugal, and you swipe the card, it'll block it.
Yeah, so sometimes the bank will freeze your card, and then you'll have to call them because they'll think someone has stolen your card. It's a fraudulent transaction, so you don't want to run into that, especially when you're in a foreign country.
Yeah,
And
that'll be a problem.
So in addition to prepping for your international trip, you're going to want to figure out what you're going to do about your cell phone. Cell phone usage internationally. So we recommend downloading the WhatsApp.
Yes.
So for WhatsApp, it's an app that allows you to call, text free as long as you're on Wi-Fi. But if you don't want to, limit yourself to just that, most cell phone plans allow you to use your phone internationally, but for $10 a day.
24-hour period.
For 24-hour periods. And you don't get notices. For us, there was no notice. It was just, haha. This is how I read my text. Haha, gotcha. We got another day, 24 hours.
The notice came 5 hours after we used it. Like, wait a minute, we didn't use it.
Literally because like my child texts me, like Aliana, my daughter, oldest daughter, texts me, and then you have triggered your.
It has been triggered.
We got you $10 more today. That's the way that I read that text.
Yeah, we use the heck out of WhatsApp. Jump on Wi-Fi. It's crazy. Some of those towns, some of those cities that we were in, the city has Wi-Fi. So you can be walking down the street and boom, Madrid's Wi-Fi pops up. And you can jump on your WhatsApp, make a call, text, whatever. I thought that was cool. And then all the places that we visited, most of them had Wi-Fi. You can just jump on and boom, you're on your WhatsApp. You can make a call. You can make a text. We love the WhatsApp. And ironically, I was watching other people's phones. The people there use the WhatsApp.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, we find that people overseas tend to use WhatsApp way more than they do here in the States. Absolutely. A lot of our friends are like, what's a WhatsApp?
Yeah.
We're like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Jasmine or Taylor, whoever, I said, hey, download the WhatsApp. Like, what? The WhatsApp? So I can speak to you while I'm out the country because I'm not going to use my $10 a day.
No. Jasmine and Taylor are our middle daughters.
Yes. Sorry. But then from there, we're still in the planning stage, and we're looking for hotels or hostels.
Hey, a hostel. Let's explain it. A hostel, we like to think of that's where the college kids stay, right?
Yeah, a hostel is a dorm.
It's a lot like, but you know what? Don't turn your nose up at a hostel because we actually stayed in a hostel in Guatemala, and it was really nice.
It was real nice, and that's
very
another
beautiful.
episode, by the way.
We'll talk more about that later. So we didn't do a hostel on this trip because in a hostel you normally get a room with a lot of beds that you share with strangers. You may have a restroom in your room, you may not. It might be a community bathroom down the hall.
Community bathroom, community shower.
Community germs.
Community everything. You might get an eye full of something you don't want to see.
You name it, you get it. But, my experience, I've stayed in a hostel twice, once with my family and once when I traveled solo to Peru. And both hostels were nice, I have to admit. So.
And I was looking online. They've upgraded some of these hostels, too. They like real nice. They're like boutique style hostels.
Yes.
And I wanted to stay in one, but I don't know if we could have done it.
No, our oldest tried to get us to stay in a hostel a couple of weeks ago in Ottawa, Canada, that was in a prison, a converted prison. It was nice. I looked at the pictures. I was like, ooh, girl, we don't want that juju.
Y'all can have that one. I'm not doing that.
But it was so pretty.
Come back with something on my spirit. No.
Oh, no. But back to the hotel. So one thing we noticed in Spain, they are very strict on their hotel occupancy. So if your room says there should only be 2 people in the room, they mean it. If you show up with 3, they can deny you access to that room, or they can ask you to leave if you've already moved, went into the room.
Or make you buy another room.
Yes, and they will make you buy another room, or you have to just leave.
Yep.
So, because we were faced with that, Mr. Derrick, always trying to save $1.
No. I wasn't trying to save $1. This is how I always book my rooms. If it's gonna be me and you and London Rose, hey, get the double queens, and just one person. I never do multiple people when I book my room. I just book the room, and it almost cost me, almost bite me in my butt, because on the app it did say, hey, you can only have 2 people in this room. I'm like, okay, whatever. And the guy, when we checked in, he was like, how many people with you? I said, just us. He's like, us? I was like, 3? Am I too close? Okay. So he thought we had 4 people at first. Like, is it 4 people? Like, no, it's just us 3. But because I checked in on my app, I used my Hilton app, I believe that's why he let us slide.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he was prepared to kick us out.
Yeah, we were going to get the boot.
But the hotel was nice. I used my Hilton points to pay for it. I believe that room, those 2 nights was like $99. So we really got a deal. If I wouldn't have to pay cash, $100 a night for that hotel, well worth it.
Yes, and even though we were in Madrid at that time for one night, I insist that Derrick pay for the 2 nights, which he's still rolling his eyes about right now.
Yes, I
Well,
am.
because we have been traveling. Our flight landed in Madrid at 7 a.m. Now, mind you, our travel started the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means check-in is 3, 4 o'clock. So had we landed and had to wait to 3 or 4 o'clock, that would have been a miserable day for us. So I insisted that Derrick purchase this night before so that our room would be available for us when, for when we land.
Right.
And we can go straight to the room.
Great idea.
It was an amazing idea.
Great idea. I think I lost about 40,000 Hilton points, but
That's
great
okay.
idea.
You needed that. It was nice to be able to take a bath, freshen up, or in our case, drop them bags and hit the street.
And hit the streets. That's what we do. Oh, my goodness.
We hit the ground running.
But that's pretty much the planning phase for us.
Yes.
I would suggest if you're going to travel, you should really plan all this stuff out. It'll make your trip much smoother, in my opinion. There will be some hiccups on the way, but if it's planned out, I think it'll make it much easier.
I want to add one thing. So when you're thinking of a place to go to, I usually let the flights dictate when we travel. Mm-hmm. So I have a place in mind, and then I just start searching my apps for the cheap flights, and then I'll try to lock in that date when I see a price that I like. Now, in this case, for us going to Spain in April, the dates dictated our travel because La Feria, which is the reason why we went this time, was happening in this specific amount of time, and we had to travel during that window. So just to put that out there.
She always wanted to plan a trip to Montreal in December because the flights are cheap. There's a reason why they're cheap, baby. They're 9 feet of snow. You know I'm telling the truth.
I know, it's Iceland. I'm trying to go to Reykjavik. I want to go to Reykjavik tomorrow.
In the dead of winter.
I want to go in the winter because of the northern lights, and I want to stay in one of those glass houses and look at the northern lights as I sleep. And then I want to go now because
we'll get to that. We'll get to Iceland, but let's get to Madrid. So my wife, the planner, we had everything planned out for our day in Madrid. We finally arrived on April 14th, which is a Sunday. And one thing that annoyed me the moment we got there was all the passport checks. I don't recall the last time going to Spain and being harassed for my passport as many times as I was on this visit.
Harassed?
Baby, every corner somebody wanted my passport. I think they checked my passport to get on an escalator. Did they not? Like, grief.
Well, typically when we travel international, we're used to getting our passport checked once, maybe twice. But in Madrid, it was 4 times easy. I don't know why they need to see it 4 times, but it was 4 times. So keep that in mind. Just have your passport out, ready to go.
Yeah. Keep it in your hand. Don't put it up because I guarantee you're going to need it. 5 steps from the last checkpoint, you're going to need it again.
Make sure, I know Madrid, okay, there are some countries that don't stamp. They don't do stamps, passport stamps, but Madrid, Spain is one of those countries that still do passport stamps. Mm-hmm. So make sure you get your passport stamped on the way in because Derrick, for some reason, did not get his passport stamped on the way in, and he almost got detained on the way out from Spain. They were not going to let him on that plane.
Ooh.
And the lady said, you don't have a stamp. How did you get here?
Yes. I said, how did you get in here? I'm like, with them?
And I'm looking like, what?
And I was prepared. Like, look, you got to go check the tape. you going to have to go back and rewind that VCR because I came in with them. So your man didn't stamp my passport. That's not me.
So just keep that in mind. Madrid stamps.
Or you can just, when you get to a foreign country, just, hey, do you stamp?
Yes, because we got our feelings hurt in Canada.
Canada doesn't stamp.
We got our feelings hurt in Jamaica.
They don't stamp.
They don't stamp.
It's crazy.
Well,
we
I
wanted the
take that
stamps.
back. Some of the booths did stamp. Ours did not and refused to.
Yeah, he did.
So, and Aruba,
He's like, no man.
and he did say no man. He did. And Aruba, the guy let me stamp it. He gave me the stamp book. I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. He said, no, we don't stamp, but you can. I was like, okay.
Sweet.
Thank you. So keep that in mind.
So we land, we go through all the passport checks, and we finally get to the hotel, and this is where the rubber meets the road. My wife has the day planned by the second.
Sure do.
So we get to the hotel, we throw our bags in the room, and the first stop is the museum, Reina Sofia.
What? Reina Sofia.
Reina Sofia.
Museo. Reina Sofia.
Yes, Museo.
But let's tell you about Reina Sofia and how the hotel almost got 100 euros out of us.
They were going to scam us.
Euros.
They were going to scam us, baby.
Yeah, we went down there asking them just basically how to get to the museum.
Should we take the metro? Should we take the Uber?
Just questions. And it was like, hey, do you have tickets?
No.
And we're like, no, we're just going to get them at the door. It's like, oh, we can get you tickets here.
We can hook you up here.
And I was like, okay, ¿cuánto cuesta? How much, right? And he was like, oh, for the three of you? Like, yeah. Because, we had our youngest, London Rose, with us. He was like, 100 euros, 100 euros. And I was like, oh.
Red flag started going off for me.
So I started having, weird feelings because I had planned this trip to a T. So, I done looked at them rates and I was like,
and then
I'm trying to do math on my fingers. Like, wait a minute, divided by 3.
Baby,
that's like 33 points.
You had me do it too, so I knew the prices. I'm a penny pitcher.
So Derrick looked at me. He's like, well, let me go back upstairs and get the cash because,
I forgot it upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and he went up there and I guess he did some thinking and he calls me from the room. Meckaela, don't get them tickets.
Like it was a secret. Like we're going to hurt their feelings. They trying to get over on us.
Don't get them tickets. So I'm standing there like, what do you want me to do? And
don't buy them tickets.
Don't buy them tickets. But so we told them no tickets, but do get us a car.
Yeah.
So we waited for our car to show up, and we get to this museum, and let me tell y'all. Would y'all like to know how much our tickets cost to that museum?
I would like to know how much.
Well, why don't you tell them, Derrick?
Free 99.
It was free.
Free 99.
The museum tickets were free, y'all. So this hotel was about to get 100 euros out of us. And
them dudes about to kick it.
They were
when they got out of work, they were going
about to make it rain.
They were going to do something with them 100 euros. I don't know what they do in Spain.
And the museum tickets were free. So one thing about Spain, you got to look, like really, really pay attention to their websites because all the museums have a free day or free time.
Yeah.
So that particular museum was free from
12:30 to 2:30.
Yeah, 12:30 to 2:30. It was a Sunday. And we showed up about 1:00. Now, granted, the line was snaking all the way around that place.
Around the building.
But that free 99, and being that at that time, that was our only day in Madrid, we stood there.
Yep.
Now, we was in line about a good 45 minutes.
Now, the great thing about that museum, the last 2 hours of every day is free.
Yes.
So let's say Monday, 7 to 9 is free, the last 2 hours of the day that it's open. And then you also want to check their website because they have holidays. So their holidays, of course, are different than our holidays. We Americans assume that everyone is on our holiday schedule, but that's not true. So just be mindful of that. You may be there during the time of a holiday and it's closed. So always check their website and make sure. But to get back to the scam artists, even if we arrived earlier, tickets are only 12 euros. 12 euros. Now, they have other options. I did my research. You can do the Art Walk Pass, which is 32 euros. And this gets you access into 3 different museums. Sofia, Prada, and the Thyssen Museum.
Thyssen, Prado, and the Reina Sofia.
I'll let you handle the Spanish, okay? But think about it, baby. 32 times 3, it's still less than 100 euros. They were going to bust our heads. I'm kind of mad. I should call Hilton. So you got some scammers down and working your front desk.
But the reason why we chose that particular museum was because I wanted to see Guernica, Picasso's large oil painting of his depiction of the bombing of the town. It was quite.
It's a massive.
It's a
piece of
It's
work.
a mural. It's the size of a mural, but it's actually oil on canvas, and it's the only. Well, it's not even the only art piece in the room.
No.
It takes up almost
That I think that
the
entire
wall.
side of that wing was for Picasso.
for Picasso. Yes,
Yeah.
because in that room, it was just a big room. On one wall was Guernica, and on the other side of the wall was his sketchings and of what he was going to draw in Guernica. So, and just like if you've ever been to the Louvre and you went to go see the Mona Lisa, you know how crowded it can be around that little bitty piece of art. So Guernica was no different.
Very crowded.
Personal space is not a thing.
Not a thing.
People will step on you,
Push you. Spray
they
you
will
with
jostle you to get
spray you with their stink.
to get what?
You know the stinky guy.
Yes.
So yeah, be ready to fight for your personal space if you want to take a picture of the artwork in that museum.
Or you can wait and run in like maybe
Near the
30,
end?
40 minutes before it closes.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of hang around and wait for it to
should've
thin
done that.
out. Derrick was not having it.
Now that I think about it, we should have done that. We should have
Came back.
came back near the end. Yeah, we probably could have had the entire museum to ourselves. Because then the rest of the museum was crowded as well.
Yes.
So
Not as crowded as Guernica, though.
Yeah. So from there, we made our walk. So we walked to this next location. I'll let you handle this.
Yes, we decided to walk. You know, Madrid is a very
It's a walkable
easy,
city.
yes, a very easily walkable city. And on our way, we went to go see the Palacio de Cibeles. We want to go to the viewpoint. And on your way from Reina Sofia, you will pass the Prado. I know you've heard of the Prado, the famous art museum there.
Because I guess that's the art district. So all the museums are in that.
Yes, pretty much
vicinity.
in that area. So in Cibeles, if you want to go see Madrid from one of its highest points, you can pay €3 to go up and see Madrid from
You get a 360 view of Madrid from this vantage point.
Yep.
And it's suggested, if you go to their website, it's suggested that you take the stairs. There are 88 of them, and we took them. So this gives you an opportunity to see the amazing architecture and the uniqueness of the building. It's an awesome building. It's amazing it's been around for that long, and it's still in great shape. I'm sure they maintain it. But just you think about, they didn't have the equipment we have now, and they built something like that. I think that is amazing.
I don't think you told us when it was built.
I didn't see a date on the day it was built. I'm sure it was 1700 somewhere in
Well,
there.
yes, a lot of the buildings in Madrid or in Europe in general
are
are
old.
really old. 'Cause you're going to think about it. The United States is a really young
country.
country compared
Yeah.
to the rest of the world.
We went to some sites that were built in
700.
700 and they're still standing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I thought that I took a panoramic photograph and have a nice picture of Madrid from this vantage point. And then we took a metro ride, right? I like public transportation. I don't, my wife, not so much.
No. There's only one metro that I don't mind riding, and that is the Tube in England.
Oh,
For
Lord.
some reason, they keep that fairly clean. And these other places,
Well, I would say
It's like riding in New York subway.
Madrid's subway metro was. I thought it was fairly clean. I like it because I get the people watch, just like the guy rolling up a cigarette sitting
Right
beside
next to
us.
me?
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna see.
How
That's the favorite
how you
part.
gonna whip out paper, get your tobacco, lick it? And mind you, I have London Rose, my 11-year-old, sitting right next to me, seeing all this, and she's like, "What is he doing?" And I just whipped out my phone to make him, like, I did it on purpose because I knew it would make him feel uncomfortable, and it did.
He's rolling his own cigarette.
This man was rolling his own cigarette on the subway, and London Rose was like, "Mom, you didn't ask him for his permission to film him." I looked at her like I want to tell her "Cállate" so bad, which means shut up.
Oh.
I was like, "Girl, be quiet. I'm trying to make this man uncomfortable so he'll put this thing away."
Meckaela goes, "Don't you like that?"
And what I did tell him. I said no.
But he
No
came
fuma.
back.
No
he came
fuma.
back. You can't. He said it. No fuma.
Yeah.
He knew the rules, so he wasn't gonna light it up. So Meckaela was gonna slap it out of his hand probably, and then I would have to beat a guy up on the metro in Madrid.
That's where I drew the line. I was like, now I don't watch you roll this thing up. You can't light it up in here now.
That was funny. that was my favorite part of being on that metro.
No. So one thing about the metro, if you're only going to be there for a short amount of time, I recommend you getting the red card.
Yeah, I would 10 trips.
Yeah, you get 10 trips on that red card. Now, mind you, it's only valid for Zone 1.
Well, it's not Zone 1. I have to take that back. Zone A, you have Zone A, you have Zone B, Zone B1, Zone B2, Zone B3. So it's only valid in like Zone A. Zone A is pretty big. It's, I would say, Madrid proper. So like the urban center of Madrid, a little bit out further out. Now, if you're in that urban center, let's say you're in Zone A, you need to get to the airport. There is an additional fee that you have to purchase onto that card so you can get access to the airport. So we found that out the hard way trying to get back to our hotel the last night in Madrid. So I would download the app, the Metro app. I would also download the Metro map so you have it. Just great idea. I love the public transportation because it takes you everywhere in Madrid. Once you get to a certain location, you got to step it out. You got to walk, but it's cheaper than an Uber, even though their Ubers are pretty cheap. I prefer the Metro.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look like you do.
Mm-mm.
And then also I would check out the website, and they have an option for a tourist ticket. So the tourist tickets allows you to ride the Metro, see the tourist spots. So just look into those options if you're going to spend any amount of time in Madrid. That's my suggestion. I know I have an anti-public transportation person sitting in front of me. So we take the Metro we get off at the Opera stop to have churros.
Yes. So if you're ever in Madrid, you're going to want to go get churros at the Chocolateria de San Ginés. Get off there. It's at the Opera stop from the Metro. They have fantastic churros. It is one of the oldest in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It was opened in 1800s.
1884, 94.
Yes, and they are very good. So you get these long churros, and they're going to give you a coffee cup full of chocolate. So London Rose is over here trying to drink the chocolate. I'm like, no, ma'am.
You know what? I thought you drink the chocolate too. I just didn't do it.
It's a lot of chocolate.
It's a lot of chocolate.
It is pure. Just imagine having like 10 candy bars melted in a cup.
A coffee cup full of chocolate.
Yeah, liquid chocolate.
And I never had churros before. It was the first time I ever had churros, and they were delicious.
So from there, you can walk a little ways to make it to the Plaza Mayor. I'm sorry.
Let's go back to the churros.
Go back to the churros. Okay.
Think about this. We thought we were going to get individual sticks of churros. So they said, how many do you want? Conta Cuesto, right? I said, dos. We got 2 orders, and 2 orders of churros is like what? 12 sticks. I was like, we should have just said 1.
Yeah.
Now we know. But yeah, those were delicious. But go ahead.
So we walked to the Plaza Mayor, which is a short walk from Chocolateria. And in the Plaza Mayor,
This is part of the plan.
oh yeah, it was because Spanish teacher. I teach my students about the Plaza Mayor, and I've always I want to go visit,
Yep.
see it in person. So it is basically a square. It's a large rectangle, in the middle of a building, and inside this building there are individual buildings. Like there's the tourist
Yeah.
place there. There are apartments. There's other stores.
There's shops.
There's shops, and then there's like vendors inside of the Plaza Mayor.
There's a visitor center there as well.
But we chose to just walk through the Plaza Mayor and go out through the other side to go visit the Mercado San Miguel. Derrick, would you like to talk about Mercado San Miguel?
Oh, that place is the food in that place. Let me tell you, it's fresh. I don't eat seafood, but they have fresh seafood. When I say fresh, it just got to the building like an hour before they opened.
There's a whole octopus sitting on ice.
There's an octopus sitting on ice. There's a what was that? A swordfish head.
Oh yeah,
sitting in ice, and they were cutting it up, and people were buying it. Shrimp. I think the shrimp was still crawling. It is fresh seafood. You have about 20 plus shops there that sell pastries, adult beverages, and we had the churros.
We had
Chorizo. And the name of the restaurant, I found it last night. The name of the spot is Madria. Madri. Madri. And their food is amazing.
Yeah, that became our new hot spot. They serve you your churros. I mean, not churros, your chorizo in like a little wooden bowl with a wooden fork.
Because they're big on recycling in Europe.
Yes. So our chorizos, it's like a wild sausage in a sauce. They're like, the ones from that place was the size of like a Vienna sausage. And we got like 12 of them. And they were delicious. They were delicious.
Best I ever had.
Yes. So every time we're in Madrid, we go there.
We go there. Check that place out. If they have something you like, or just try something, you're going to like it.
Yeah.
No, open your mind up and try something different.
They have bocadillos, which are their sandwiches. They have pastries,
tapas.
They serve drinks.
What's that where they're cutting the leg?
Yeah, so you're going to see, is that pork? What kind of leg was that?
No, I think it's pork, yeah.
So you'll see like a thigh. Is that a thigh? You'll see an animal's leg. a big chunk of looks like a thigh all the way down to the hoof. And it's just that one leg, and it's always hanging up.
Yep. And they're cutting
pieces of that meat.
And they're making sandwiches out of it. It is fresh. And at the end of the day,
it is so fresh that it's literally cut off of the leg.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when it's done, they're not going to wrap it up and put it in plastic and put it in the refrigerator. They're going to toss it. And tomorrow, they're going to have a new leg up there. Yes. Brand new.
And even in the grocery stores, like you'll see that leg everywhere.
Yes.
Restaurants, you name it.
That leg.
Street vendors, they're going to have a leg.
They're going to have that leg out there. And the amazing part about this market, we missed it because it happened in May. So every Monday they were giving away an art and wine experience in conjunction with Thyssen Museum. Thyssen Museum, sorry. I wish we could have won that.
That would have been nice.
That would have been awesome.
But while Derrick and I are obsessed with legs, London Rose was obsessed with the Kawaii Cafe. She says that is her new restaurant, her new favorite restaurant in the world. And they need to have a Kawaii Cafe here in the United States.
Yes.
Because everything is like anime
themed.
Anime themed.
Yeah.
There was a guy dressed up like
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
And then you had the young ladies dressed up like lady characters from anime.
So there's a wall with stuffed animals. Everything is pink.
There's drawings of anime characters.
Yep, drawings.
Everything.
You walk in, they have macarons. They have a bowl full of hats and headbands for you.
I think I had on the what?
You had on Minnie Mouse
bunny ears or something.
Bunny ears. You wore Minnie Mouse ears with bows, but the food was delicious.
Food is good, and the food is colorful.
It's very colorful.
Everything's gonna be colorful. No matter what you order, you want macaroni and cheese, it's gonna be pink. The pancakes were green. Like everything has a color. It's a colorful restaurant. And everything is Instagrammable.
It is. They have an Instagram handle. I think it's just Kawaii Cafe, Kawai. Then Cafe, CAFE. They have an Instagram presence, and you can go on there and you can see our guy dressed up.
The Dragon Ball Z guy.
Yeah, he's on there. I was like, hey, there he is.
He's IG famous.
He is.
And then from there, I guess it's time to wrap it up because we have to catch a train the next day when we take our metro back to the hotel. The metro station was about 15 to 20-minute walk from our hotel. I didn't think it was far.
No, it's good. It's good. Our thing is whenever we land in Madrid, we like to get our steps up. So we're always clocking to see how we can get. I think our highest was
30,000 steps.
Yeah, 30,000 steps in one day. In Madrid.
I don't think we made it this time. We got close.
We got 20 something.
Like 22, 24, somewhere in there. So that is our first day in Spain, in Madrid. The next day is Monday. We have to get up and catch our high-speed train. And then we're going to rent a car. Our rental car shenanigans. Now, we'll talk about that in the next episode.
All right. Until next time.
I'll see you later.
Ooh, if you made it this far, you are the true champion. You could have been anywhere, doing anything, but you instead chose to spend your time with us. And for that, we say thank you.
I'm Derrick.
I'm Meckaela. Rate, like, and subscribe. Do good, be good. Until next time.